guys, I'm currently recording this from the bathroom in the airport in Seoul. So if there's like a weird echo, that's the reason. And also like, you're welcome. You guys better like this video. I don't know if you have been keeping up, but this season of Love Island has been at the top of the headlines almost every week for another scandal. I want to break it down for you guys in one video, all the scandals that have hit the villa this season. So last season was an extremely popular one for Love Island. It actually peaked one week for being the most streamed reality series on Peacock. Everyone and their mom had a couple that they were shipping, and overall, even though it had its drama, it was well received. So the expectations for this season were super high because they expected the same energy as season 6, but they were wrong. Okay, so let's properly get into it. The first scandal happened by the second episode. No, I'm not even kidding. So obviously on the first episode, we meet all the main contestants, also known as the OGs, because people do join along the way as bombshells and cast some more people. So one of the main cast members was Yulissa Escobar. A little bit about Yulissa. She is 27 years old who runs a mobile bar company in Miami. In general, she was received quite well by the audience and didn't have much drama inside the villa until, as the season was airing, some clips of a podcast that Yulissa was on went viral because of our casual use of the N-word. They didn't actually address the podcast on the show. The following episode, the voiceover just mentioned Yulissa had left the villa, so everyone was like, what happened? So once people started hunting on Twitter, everyone found out about it. She did later respond in a TikTok and get into details about what actually happened when she left the villa, so she confirmed that she didn't leave in the middle of the night or in the morning, nor did they drag her or tap her on the shoulder and pull her off to the side.
Regular ass day, wake up in the morning, shades go up, lights go on. Good morning, Islanders! And then I met with one of the producers and they asked me to take my mic off. When they asked me to take my mic off, I kind of figured something serious was kind of happening. They didn't really tell me anything. They just said that a video resurfaced the internet and, it's not looking too good. So I was like, what does this mean for me? Does this mean I'm coming home? And they were like, yes. So I was like, okay. But I didn't really know what video, what I was saying, what I did. So I was like in the unknown. I go back to my hotel. I didn't get my phone back for another 2 days, which obviously they were waiting for the 2 episodes that I was in to air. So in that time, I was literally in my hotel room in Fiji, losing my fucking mind. And when I got my phone back, I was like, holy shit, no way. And it was a lot to take in. People think that I'm racist. I mean, I get it. I said a word that I should have not said, but man, I wish I would have never said that, So I mean, it is what it is. I can't go back in time. I am sorry that I said that word.
So that was episode 2. Now, last week, an even bigger controversy was when Sierra Ortega was kicked out of the villa. Sierra lasted way longer on the show, so people got to know her more, and it was a little bit of a bigger deal. I wouldn't say she was a fan favorite, but she did get a ton of followers on social media from the show. However, she did lose something like 200 to 300,000 followers from that episode when she was teaming up with Olandria and Shelly to beat Mean Girls against Huda. So people were kind of over her. On episode 30, just like with Yulissa, the narrator said that Sierra left for a personal situation and they didn't really address it on the show. It did cut to Nick reacting to it for like 30 seconds, being sad, but then he moved on pretty quickly with Olandria as well. But that's sort of the only difference that we got here in comparison to the time Yulissa got sent home. Sierra, much like many people, has her friends and family running her social media while she's in Fiji. So as soon as she got kicked off the show, it was at first her family that got the backlash. So what did she do? Posts started resurfacing of Sierra using a racial slur against Asian people many times on social media casually. Love Island didn't address it immediately, but when the video surfaced, fans did. She lost over 180,000 Instagram followers, and there was a change.org petition that gathered almost 20,000 signatures saying that she should be kicked off. People did not take this lightly. Her parents were quoted saying this on her Instagram stories. "We've seen the posts, the headlines, the hurt, and the hate, and while Sierra hasn't seen any of it yet, we have. And so have the people who love her. We're not here to justify or ignore what surfaced. We understand why people are upset, and we know accountability matters. But what's happening online right now has gone far beyond that. The threats, the cruel messages, the attacks on her family and her friend, even her supporters, it's heartbreaking. It's uncalled for, and no one deserves that kind of hate, no matter what mistake they've made.
Many of you already know this, but Sierra's social media accounts were run by her friend MJ while she's on Love Island, but because of what has come out, MJ took to social media to let us know that she is no longer running that account. MJ posted to her stories 3 hours ago saying, "Hey guys, I see your comments concerning someone I love and care about. I want to be clear that I do not condone racism, bigotry, or hate in any way, shape, or form, nor was I aware of the recent screenshots until they were posted. I discovered it at the same time as all of you did. I cannot speak for anybody or make any statements besides my own and decided to take a step back from running her account. I was asked by her family to turn off comments and refrain from speaking on her behalf. This situation has been really difficult and I'm still processing everything."
Sierra did eventually address this on TikTok. She basically said she finally feels like she is at a place where she can speak about this, and starts off by saying that while she was in the villa, some videos resurfaced of her naively using an incredibly offensive and derogatory term.
And before I get into the details, I want to first start by addressing not just anyone that I have hurt or deeply offended, but most importantly, the entire Asian community. I am deeply, truly, honestly so sorry. I had no idea that the word held as much pain, as much harm, and came with the history that it did, or I never would have used it. I had no ill intention when I was using it, but that's absolutely no excuse, because intent doesn't excuse ignorance. It just doesn't.
I also just want to point out that her sweatshirt says empathy, which I thought was interesting. She went on to say, although she didn't intend to offend people, intention doesn't outweigh the outcome. And she says it's an accountability video and not an apology. She then says in 2024, she got a DM from a follower who educated her on the meaning of the word and how offensive it is, and showed us screenshots of that conversation. She says after that, she deleted posts that had it, re-educated herself, and changed her vocabulary.
And I think right now there are tons of things floating around, different screenshots with different timestamps, and fueling this narrative that I sort of doubled down once people tried to correct me and was like, oh, like, I don't know, I'm still gonna use it.
She says she agrees with Love Island's decision to remove her from the villa and that she deserves the punishment. She says she gets where the hate is coming from, but people should ease up on her family. They're sending death threats to her and calling ICE on them, which is definitely not okay. One question that I did have was, how come she says that she immediately deleted the posts upon becoming educated about the derogatory nature of the term that she used, but then literally if you scrolled 3 TikToks down while she was in the villa, her third video was using the slur. So like, I'm not sure if you knew that. Someone in the cast, Beldasha, did comment on all of this.
Posted this to her IG story. She wrote, "As a proud Asian American woman, I am deeply appreciative of the Love Island USA producers for taking a stand and making it clear that racism of any kind is not tolerated. When I first saw what my fellow Islanders said on her social media pages, I was incredibly heartbroken, but I wanted to wait until they left the villa and they were able to address the situation, genuinely apologize, and commit to learning from the experience before deciding how our relationship would look moving forward. As screenshots continued to surface, it became clear that I could no longer support this person and made the decision to unfollow them a couple of days ago. Asian hate is oftentimes overlooked and dismissed, but being a first-generation American, I have personally witnessed and experienced how real and hurtful comments like these are. It is my hope that this situation can help shed light on how big of an issue anti-Asian hate actually is. Just like so many other Asian Americans, my mom immigrated here to create a better life for her and her future family. Knowing the hardships she and so many others have faced, I cannot be silent any longer. Because what good is this amazing platform God and you have all given me if I don't use it to amplify the voices of my community? I do not condone bigotry or racism of any kind, but I also don't condone hate either. Please think twice before leaving unkind comments to or about this person."
So you'd think this video is coming to an end, but not really. Outside of all the main drama, there has been a few contestants people are saying also deserve to be called out. Let's talk about Austin Shepard. So outside of people just being upset at Austin, just being Austin, and hurting one of the fan favorites, Amaya, Austin, who was voted off of the show, oops, spoiler alert, faced some serious racism allegations. This was all because Austin was reposting certain TikToks that had racist undertones. Here is a re-upload on some of the things that he reposted.
But I will say it, the population of Jackson is 80% black. Now, you might know nothing about Jackson at all, but just based on the crime stats, you already made assumptions about the racial demographics, and your assumptions were right. You heard that it's a place where violent crime is overwhelming. You make an assumption that it must be a heavily black community, and you're right. Indeed, if you look at any town in America and see that it has a predominantly black population, you can assume that the crime rate is probably pretty high, and you will almost always be correct. And we all know that.
So people had to assume that Austin agreed with that since he reposted it back in 2024. In addition to that, he apparently liked some pro-Trump TikToks, but that has since been deleted. Following this, he issued a statement on his Instagram story that read, "I want to take a moment to address my recent repost that has caused offense to some of you. As you all know, I have a very dry sense of humor, and I genuinely didn't think before sharing that content. It was never my intention to hurt or upset anyone. I value and respect all individuals and their perspectives. I recognize that my choice of content did not resonate well with everyone, and for that I sincerely apologize. I'm committed to learning from this experience." Sadly, not a lot of fans were buying it and kept commenting on his lives and posts about how he was racist. One person in particular asked how it feels to be the most racist bigot on the show, and this was his response.
Okay, I'm gonna give this attention only one time because this is like crazy. Are you fucking dumb? Like, honestly, are you dumb? Like, do you not think? I have a black woman tatted on my side. Use your head.
People didn't necessarily love this response, as one comment on his most recent Instagram post reads, "When does Austin acknowledge all his offensive posts he scrubbed from the internet, and claiming he has a black woman tattooed on him? LOL, the girl is white." So anyway, last but not least, I came across a thread on Reddit about Nick also having racism allegations as well, and like, who did the casting this season? I just want to talk. So Refinery29 posted a thread on Instagram saying this whole thing about how people were treating Nick differently than they did with Sierra. Starting off the thread by saying, when old video surfaced of Nick Van Steenberg making a racist joke about Chinese people eating cats, fans and producers seemed to largely ignore it. In an Instagram caption, they basically called out the season for the casting decision, saying, "While Ortega was wrong for using the language, especially more than once, there seems to be a double standard at play. Less reported is the fact that the two of the show's fan-favorite contestants, Nick Van Steenberg and Austin Shepard, have been also outed for creating or reposting racist videos. Sierra's comments were filled with vitriol, Nick and Austin's are filled with fanfare. Racist social media posts should have prevented all three from being cast in the first place, but the show's producers seemed more focused on casting contestants with a strong following, chasing last season's virality. By quietly removing them without a clear statement beyond a vague voiceover, the show avoids actually condemning racism. If the producers have no problem making statements about bullying, why can't they do the same with racist language?" Writes Taryn Finley. "I'm not completely sure that kicking her off the show rectified the real problem here, especially when the producers are picking and choosing who to punish." So yeah guys, that is all the tea and all the chaos surrounding Love Island this season. I feel like I agree with Refinery29, like all of this stuff happened before them even cast in the first place, so how did they not see it, but the fans did? Anyway guys, let me know what you think about this season of Love Island. How do you think it compares to last season? Who exactly cast these people? And is what Refinery saying about the casting true? Do you even like this season in general? And what do you think about everything that resurfaced? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, feel free to leave this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new tea spills from us. And for now,